Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I am back at you with some Wargaming Wednesday. We got a little late start. I've got a couple of things I want to talk about. It should be okay. We normally stream from like 11 to 1, but I had a little technical difficulty this morning. So let me go ahead and I got to package something for one of my customers, so just bear with me. It's going to be just a second. Once I get that done, then we'll start the show. So give me about, I don't know, another 5 minutes or so. Bazooka team and a 30 cal machine gun team. Yep. Okay. This should only take a second. You guys can't see me. But I want to make sure I beat the pickup. Hold on. I must have put my bubble wrap away. Okay. Individually wrapping each model. Luckily, there's only 3 models. There's 2 bazookas and 1 machine gun team. There we go. Alrighty, not done yet. But but I want to talk about Front Rank and Gripping Beast. I want to talk about my Napoleonic project, and also the figures that I've got on the table here, which are U.S. paratroopers. Okay, this looks good. This looks good. All right. I'm getting the you don't have any activity on your screen message from YouTube. Well, that would be correct because I was stepping away. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the intro music back up, and I'll be right back because I'm just going to carry this outside. I'll leave my mic on just in case you hear me. Just go straight back to me. I am going to turn the lights on and maybe the second camera. I'm not set up today and I apologize. This is a bad start for me. I had too many fires to put out this morning, and finally I think I'm able to catch a breath. Ooh. Okay, let's go ahead and get the camera on here. I mean the camera. The light, I turn the light on so that you can see the figures once I get the cameras aimed at the figures. Okay, let me just take a breath from putting out all these fires. Yeah, YouTube's giving me the grief. That's all right. We giving me red. Millions of dropped frames. Wow. I wonder why that is. Yeah, I wonder why that is. Okay. Okay, I can't manage my tabs if I'm like that. Okay. Let's bring this up. Oh, wrong camera. There I am. Okay. Okay, we're still having a little issue with the YouTubes here. I am not going to open the widget. Okay, good. This is the message you get when you go to Front Rank Miniatures. I have done a lot of business with Front Rank. They're probably my favorite miniature. They're probably my favorite miniature company. I have done business with them for a long time. I guess it's Alec and Angela. At Gripping Beast, I think have bought or acquired the no wait, I'm messing up somewhere here. Hold on. Front Rank Miniatures are delighted to announce that Gripping Beast has acquired all the Front Rank ranges and the website. Okay, so I don't know if this website is going to exist after. I mean, they say they've acquired it. That doesn't mean it's going to be up and running, right? To allow the handover of Gripping Beast, we are no longer taking orders. And outstanding orders, of course, will be fulfilled. But Gripping Beast is aiming to reopen the Front Rank website for orders as soon as possible. Oh, okay. Okay, that's good because part of this is I am excited to see what Gripping Beast does with the website. Plus, I'm concerned about the quality of the miniatures. What I don't know is if Alec and Angela are going to continue to work the molds and the warehouse or the factory or whatever they've got going on there, and just be basically owned by Gripping Beast. I don't know the details on that. If that is the case, then I don't think there will be any problem because Alec and Angela have done such a great job for me in the past. I've had issues with orders. They've resolved them instantly. When I place an order with them, I get the order instantly. The quality of the molds and the models are outstanding, top of the line. I'm gonna miss them. But I am also saying that Gripping Beast might exceed my expectations. They might, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and close this Front Rank website because see, you could close this message, but as soon as you go to another page that thing pops right back up. But you can close it and browse. You just can't order. Okay. So let's get rid of the front rank. Boobity doop. Okay, now there's Gripping Beast. Gripping Beast has a little scrolly thing here, and now right here, pleased, oh, pause. There's a pause button, pause. They're pleased to announce its acquisition front rank upon retirement of Alex and Angela. Okay, if they're retiring, they're probably not going to continue to work the molds, right? So it's going to be the Gripping Beast crew that's going to be working the molds. Or I don't know if Alec and Angela had employees that did their work for them. But if they did and they retain those employees, then that'll be awesome. There's no changes to the website for the moment. We aim to provide the same high standard of service that customers have enjoyed. Okay. Over time, we plan to remove the order value limit and make the ranges available to our trade customers. There it is. Thank you, Gripping Beast. I've already sent them a message about that, about becoming a trade partner with them. But I put a stipulation on it. Nothing negative or anything. It's internally a stipulation. I have placed an order with Gripping Beast. I placed nothing large. I think it was like $100, $150, and I'm gonna get like 5 boxes of plastic miniatures, a couple of metal miniatures, Romans, I think, mostly Romans, and like Celtics or something from their Gripping Beast line, or maybe it's their Sword Point line. Hold on. Yeah, I think it was the unit deals I think I went with. I picked up wait, this looks different. I didn't know they had cells. What? I missed all these. Okay, so starter sets and bundles is what let's get rid of that. No, I don't think that was it. I don't know. Deals. I know I went to deals. Okay. And I saw right here, get 3 boxes or get 5 boxes. I went ahead and went with the 5 boxes, and you can go through here and assign your 5 boxes out of the list that they've got. And I ordered some of those, and that was mainly because and it was before I even applied for any kind of trade partnership or anything like that. It was because I want to see what the quality of their figures are. I haven't had any Gripping Beast figures in my store or in my personal possession. So I went ahead and ordered some of those, and I looked through their other products and stuff, and they've got some pretty cool stuff on here, and there's nothing to write home about, but it is it's a nice website. So, and I even told them that. I said, you know, your website is pretty easy to read and it's pretty easy to find stuff, and I appreciate that. I'm going to place an order, and I'm going to check the quality of what I get. If I like the quality, then I'm going to apply for a trade partnership. But now that I see that front rank, and I'll probably also order some front rank once the transition is over, and If it is still the same quality of miniature, then all is well in the world of wargaming, and I'll just go ahead and get my front rank straight from Gripping Beast, or they'll probably just maintain their website. They might change like contact information on there or stuff like that. So my understanding is it's supposed to happen, because I think I went to their news page and I see this special announcement posted the 4th of October. I'm a little bit behind the schedule here, but right here it is. It looks like tomorrow. Looks like tomorrow we might be able to start ordering from Front Rank. I don't have anything that I need to order right now, but in a week or two I might, and so I need to maybe establish, and by ordering from the Gripping Beast, I'm testing their ship speed, right? I'm testing to see how long it's going to take me to get my orders in. So right now I'm on an evaluation period is where I'm at right now. I'm evaluating the Gripping Beast company, their website, etc., etc. Okay. All right, now I just finished painting 40 NVKD, I guess Soviet infantry. By the book, or by the paint scheme that's on the box. I painted those guys up for one of my eBay customers. So I have them on the shelf still because we're still waiting for him to settle up, which no worries. It's no problem at all. I'm not in a rush. But I thought you guys might want to see them on camera. So let me, and I want to show these figures that I'm doing right here. So what I need to do is set up my second camera because I wasn't ready for today. Okay, so let me go ahead and get the second camera set up. What I have been doing is putting the camera over here by my coffee. But luckily I don't have any coffee in it today. And then what I would do, instead of doing that, I guess that'd be fine. I think that'll work. Okay, I'm moving the second camera. It's not focused or anything. Okay. Let's go ahead and activate that biznatch. Okay. Okay. I guess that's good. Let's shrink this. Let's get rid of the Gripping Beast website. Let's get rid of the Front Rank website. Okay. All right, that's good. I still have my Quatre Bras spreadsheet up, and I did kind of want to show you that as well. Not, oh, that's the wrong button. Close that. I've got my Discord button right next to my camera button. Okay. Got focus on auto. Got it on zoom for some reason. Let's go ahead and remove the zoom. That change anything? I don't see it. Okay. That's the, yeah, we'll give them some backlight compensation. There we go. That'll be fine. Okay, so let's move that out of the way. There we go. Okay. Okay, these are the Americans that I'm started working on last night. These are basically the standard Warlord games, American paratroopers. I'm going to be painting them up like D-Day paratroopers, and I'm going to be actually selling these on eBay as soon as I get them finished. I decided to make the machine guns that come in the set using them as medium machine guns by adding a third crew member, and I basically just put a couple of guys on their base, leaving me with 18 guys. So I decided to split them up into 3 squads of 6, because as you know, the American paratroopers come in squads of 6 to 12. So I just had to give them 3 6s and put 1 submachine gun in each squad. They're all riflemen otherwise. And I took a few of them, I think 4 of them, and mounted them up with the Mohawk haircut because I'm going to advertise these squads as Pathfinders. Pathfinders or infantry riflemen, paratrooper riflemen, because I looked at the paratrooper squad and I looked at the Pathfinder squad, and you can default to just rifles, and so that's what we're going to do. And you can add submachine guns. Now the Pathfinders, you can add a ton of submachine guns, but I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to stay low points, just rifles, no BAR, no machine guns, nothing. So you could kind of consider these to be additions or reinforcements to the squads that you probably already have built. So if you wanted to just add guys to your squads, this might be the way to go. Yeah, now I thought about making a few BARs, but then I thought against it. I said, nah, let's just go full rifles. You can always use a rifleman. Riflemen, you know, they're always in need. So to fill out your squads or whatever. Okay. All right, now I have, I don't know what, my YouTube streaming. I'm going to refresh that yet again. Yeah, I don't know why I've got a bunch of packet loss. Okay, it looks good when I refresh the screen. So maybe it's just me watching my own stream has caused problems. Let's go ahead. And I can turn that off. It's just that I want to keep an eye on the chat. Maybe I can pop out the chat and close this site. I can. Okay, good. So now I'm not watching the video stream anymore. I'm just watching the chat and the and my streaming software. Okay, so that's the name of this tune. You guys have seen Warlord games, Paratroopers 100 times, right? All right. Well, here are the 40 dudekins, and it's their Soviet NKVD squad. I know it's not focused because the focus is down there, but yeah, there they are, and damn, they look really good. Of course, everything I do looks good. But I'm not talking about my paint job. I'm talking about their mold or their modeling. Let me pull up my editing here. Because I'd like this to be in focus. That's not bad. What do you think? Looks good. All right. Yeah, that's focused enough. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go over a few, randomly choose a few of these, and you guys can kind of take a look at what I did with them. I hope you like them. I hope the guy that paid me to paint these for him likes them. Not, his name's James, but that's all you're getting out of me. Yeah. He commissioned, before this, he commissioned 40 Russian paratroopers. So my guess is that he is doing a fairly sizable Russian army. Got, you know, he's prepping a grenade there. What's another one? Guy shooting? Okay. Firing his, now that's not, I don't think, it might be Moisant, right? I don't see a bayonet, but maybe they all didn't have that. And a few of these have pretty sizable magazines. Now, I'm not sure what rifle that is with the big metal front on it. Oh, I didn't show you the back of the guy. Yeah, so I don't know. Let's find one of their, here's one. Got his light machine gun. Yeah, I think he's going to enjoy these. It's weird they got those blue hats on. But I wanted to make sure that I went by the art. And like, this is one of their squad leaders with the blue pants on and the big old mustache. Yeah. All right, let's go put them guys up. All right, so we can get rid of this camera now because, well, I might start painting these after a little while, so we might leave the camera on. Let me go ahead and adjust it again. Wait, what? Ah, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so we might actually get to painting these. So I'll just deactivate the camera on the screen. Boom. Okay. So what's going on over here? Okay, let's just cancel that. Cancel that. Cancel that. Okay, because I tried opening it up like 100 times. Okay. If you've been following along with my Napoleonic updates that I've been doing, you hold on just a second. Could open a beer here. It's not a beer. It's a bang. Bang. Delish second Netherlands division. I got all the militia finished finally, and I've got both regiments of. So wearing on me is that the French, right, are a little bit behind. The French have about the purple ones are not complete. Okay, those purple ones are telling me that I've got the figures available to do those. I think I've got the figures to do all of them because I haven't updated that purple in a while. I know I have these dragoons. I think I've got at least one of these guard chasseurs. But again, remember, I've got the Empress Dragoons that could pose as that. I would need to do Lefevre and Le Monde. I haven't done those generals. But other than that, I've got way more French to do than British, is what I'm trying to say. So I think in the next few updates, I'm going to be working on my French. Probably these dragoons. I'm looking forward to doing these dragoons. But the infantry is lacking, so I might need to do the second line because that'll fill. Well, I could do. See, I want to finish. Like, okay, one battalion will finish Foy's division, so I might do that because I want to try to just finish some divisions. I already did the 3rd battalion of the 100th and then realized that it was such a small unit that it could have been absorbed into one of these other battalions to fill them out. And so basically I decided not to field that up here. I mean, I could just do a command stand and swap that out. I could just do a bunch of, I did the 21st and I did the 3rd of the 100th. I could just do 2 command stands, pluck the French ones out and put the new French ones in and just have 2 new battalions like instantly. I might do that because I've got a ton of French command figures. So from front rank. Okay, so or I could just do whole battalions, which is probably what I'm going to do. And this was also figured out before I realized that the second light needed 4 battalions. Yeah, when you look at the second light, these battalions are pretty good size. So I couldn't, like, this one is the one I was talking about that I merged because it was only 251 dudes. And these are in the 400s. So I figured take 100 or 75 or whatever and scatter them out just to make them more, I don't know, in line with the 5 to 700 scale. And then because at 400 I'm starting to think it's a small unit. It's not. Technically a 4 is still probably a standard size unit, but I'm starting to think that it is a small unit. So I just decided to take this tiny unit and just spread it out. Because they wouldn't have fought as like skirmishers or anything anyway. So I mean they would have skirmish like Voltigeurs in the unit, but not as a whole unit. They wouldn't have been skirmishers. So yeah. So what was I trying to say? Okay, so that's Quatre Bras. So I'm starting to get to the point where I'm not there yet. Probably a month or two, because it takes me a week or so to do one regiment, 3 battalions or so. So I'm counting maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so like 2 months to get all this finished. And then maybe another 2 months to get all that finished. I'm guessing. So not by Christmas, but definitely by February. I think I'm going to have everything in Waterloo, or yeah, not Waterloo, Quatre Bras finished. So what I'm starting to think, what am I going to need? Because I want to continue this project, right? So I want to, it's a Waterloo project. It's not a Quatre Bras project. The last time I did a Quatre Bras project, which was a couple of years back, I did everything you need to fight out Quatre Bras in 28 millimeter for black powder. But I was making all these standard size units. I was only using 16 figures. I was deliberately making them smaller so that I could so that I could paint them faster, and that I could put them on a smaller table. And I've decided to go against that and go with this new project because I went ahead and sold all those. And so I wanted to restart, right? And because I really loved this battle, I wanted to restart it, and I wanted to do it right. So I decided to make the units full standard size, 24 figures. And it's taking me twice as long, right? Because, yeah, I've realized it's taking me twice as long. But then again, I'm painting twice as many figures. Because, like, the Cav, I only had, like, 12 figures on a table. No, not even 12. I had 6 or 8. Maybe I had 8. 8 figures representing Cav units, and 16 for a standard, and yeah. But I had everything, and yeah, it only took me about 6 months to do the entire Battle of Quatre Bras, where in this case it's taking me about not a year, probably about 9 months. If my February prediction is correct. We'll see. As you also might know, I've slowed down on my Waterloo project a little bit because I'm painting commission figures and figures for my store. My business has picked up a little bit in the last month or two, and in the past I could paint one store unit and then one personal unit and alternate back and forth like that and maintain my shelves. But right now they are the figures are flying off the shelves faster than I can paint them, so I've decided to step it up on the store side and then postpone my personal side. So it's now a 2-to-1 ratio. But that really hasn't slowed me down. It's just kind of changed my focus a little bit. Like those figures I've got on the table, I'll probably have them done by tomorrow night. Yeah, D-Day paratroopers are not hard to paint. Okay, so, and with my technique, I'm perfect in every way. No, I'm not. Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is, see the way it was is, actually, no, I'm starting to get this urge to branch out to another battle. Okay, so I know, right? So what I want to do is insert a new sheet. Okay, and this sheet I'm going to rename to Hugo. I know that's not how you spell it. Okay, so that's going to be our Hougoumont battlefield, right? And then there's going to be a new sheet. Insert new sheet. Insert new sheet. There we go. This sheet is going to be I'm just trying to think of a cool name. Center? We'll call it Center. And then this one is going to be renamed Pappy. Okay, so I'll go in and rearrange these. But I want to do this style of imagery for the Hougoumont battlefield and the Center battlefield, and then the Papillote battlefield. Now, for those of you that don't know, I am using Albion Triumphant as a baseline. Okay, got some dust on there. So as a, what's the word I'm looking for? As a guidebook. I don't trust this book. Not 100%. In my opinion, after reading this book, there's a lot of discrepancies. They give you a rule for one unit on one page, and then a completely different rule on that same unit in another page. And so there is some discrepancies. Now I have to it's my responsibility as game master or game organizer to make sure I understand which rules we are going to use. Are we going to use that first rule, or are we going to use that second rule? Okay, and then let my players know. So I'm not worried about that. I can actually, I enjoy that, because that kind of makes me, it kind of forces me to Hey, John, you said Spain battle or Leipzig? I don't think I'm going to do Leipzig anytime soon. I guess I could do like a small portion of Leipzig, and I might even do that once I get some Prussians finished. But and I'm jonesing to paint some Prussians. I really want to put some Prussians together, and I could start working on the Papillot page before I do Hugomont, but I could even do, what do they got? I would buy copies when done with research. Hey John, I'm not sure I understand exactly what you mean by that. Tell me what you're talking about the buy copies when you're done with your research. Or you buy figures when you've already done your research? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Maybe. I don't know. But and hey, I'm glad to see that you're here today. So this book is not the scenarios they have in these books, and I've read somewhere, it might have been first edition, that and I've kind of watched a few of the videos that Warlord puts out and things like that, and they have a tendency to fudge things. Hey, we all do it, like I'm doing with the proxies and stuff. So I understand that. But if you're gonna and when they fudge things, they fudge it in a way that allows them to play with the figures they have at their home studio, wherever they're playing. And that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the truth, true history, not your truth. I'm looking for the truth, and allow me as the fudger to fudge where I want. Don't fudge for me, is what I'm trying to say. And these scenarios in this books are all fudged. And so some units are larger than they're supposed to be. Some units are smaller than they're supposed to be. It's based on the figures they have. And I would prefer it, if it's written on paper, that these units be accurate, and that and I also wish it was written in a way that I could understand it. Because it's like they know what they're doing, and then they scribble something down on a notepad that they put in this book. But if you're not a mind reader, if you can't read their mind, you don't know what they mean by that. And so that's why I go ahead and use more than one reference. I'll use this as my primary reference, believe it or not, because it's built for the game, and I'll use this as a primary reference. But then I will also go into, I hate to admit this, but I'll go to the wikis. I'll go to unit websites, because almost every British unit has got its own personal website, and it talks about all the battles it's ever been in, and Waterloo is a big one. So they usually talk a lot about the Waterloo, their participation in Waterloo. But that's the British. So when it comes to the Prussians and the French, I don't necessarily trust their account because they always say they do better than they really did, mainly for the emperor. And the Prussians, I don't think were really documenting what they were doing at the time. I think they were just following orders, doing their thing, crushing the French. So another thing I might want to do, and I don't think it's in this book anywhere. Actually, let me just double check because it might be in here. Got Quatre Bras. And then it goes to Hougoumont. And then Plans Noir. Yep, those are the only battles in here. So basically, I'm going to have to organize my own battle for the center, which is La Haye Saint, right? I got to do La Haye Saint, and that whole like Bylance Brigade and everything in the center, and then over on the right, the Plans Noir, the Prussians coming in and attacking, and Hougoumont. So, speaking of Hougoumont in this, they abstract quite a bit. This says the game is played on an 8x6 table with the option to reduce all ranges and distances, as in the Albion Triumphant Volume 1 Peninsula campaign. I have Albion 1 Peninsula campaign. I don't think it's that, right? Nope, that's Hail Caesar. Okay, but I think I've gone through that book from front to cover, and I don't see any rule that says that. But I've actually considered, and this is something a little off topic, but I've considered doing this. Taking, I don't know if I have it up there or not. Basically, taking these little dowel rods. Well, actually, they come like 3 feet long, but cutting them down to 8 inches. I've thought about this, and this is probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut them down to 8 inches. Or let me rephrase that. I'm going to make some movement sticks that 8 inches is equal to 12 inches. So a full movement stick will be only 8 inches long. So basically, I'm changing the movement ranges of all my units by 2/3. That means that a 4-foot wide table would equate to a 6-foot wide table, or a 8-foot long table would equate to 12 feet long. So even though I'm playing on a 4x8, which I'm not, I'm playing on a 5x9, but if I was playing on a 4x8, it would be the same as playing on a 6x12. Okay, so I've thought about making movement rulers, which are 12 inches, which are actually only going to be 8-inch sticks, and then shooting, right? If a unit can shoot, let's say, 18 inches, then what am I making? What's 1/3 of 18? That's 12, right? 12, yeah. So I'd make a 12-inch shooting stick, right? And if a unit can shoot like a cannon. If a cannon is shooting like 48 inches, then I would need to make something like a maybe a 36 inch. I'll have to figure out whatever the 2/3 of 48 inches is. And then so basically shooting sticks and movement sticks will all be 2/3 the size. Negatively, what that does is it makes a 12 inch, or I'm sorry, a 24 figure battalion too big. It makes it, larger and in scale with the movement and the shooting. So that works great by taking 2 bases off and making it a 16 figure unit. That is actually 2/3 of a battalion, right? So but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to leave the full size battalions on there just because it'll be epic. It'll just look a lot better. I don't want to shortchange myself. And if I ever need them for a full-size table, like if I ever do get a 6x12 battlefield, like if I take it to a convention or something, then I will have the units needed to fill out the table or whatever. And then we don't need to use range rulers. We can just use tape measures. All right, so yeah, going to Hougoumont, right? I was thinking about just copying and pasting all this over. Got a lot of activity in my kitchen right now. Okay, let me pull up the Hougoumont. There's a couple of things I like game-wise, but I dislike order battle-wise. Here we go, Battle of Hougoumont. Boom. Okay. Okay, what I want to do with the Battle of Hougoumont is to take the entire second corps, Real's corps, that is positioned near Hougoumont, and give the players the option of how they want to attack it, right? Do they want to just send Bowden's brigade in to attack, or do they want to actually send in Soy, or something like that, or both? But in this scenario, that's not what you're looking at. Yeah, it says the chateau and its grounds form a centerpiece in the battle. So I've thought about scratch building a Hougoumont model, or a variety of different models, maybe 3 different ones to represent the courtyard, one representing the church or the chateau or whatever it is, and then one representing the stables, and then maybe having another piece of terrain that represents the gardens, or something like that, right? And then I could just puzzle piece them, put them on the table. Plus, they would each represent their own town sector. So you could have a unit in one and a unit in another, and et cetera, et cetera. But if you look at the 28 millimeter Hougoumont model, it's to scale, right? Which is great. But the battle you're playing is not to scale. You're playing a 4-figure base represents 100 men, not 4 men. Your muskets are only shooting 18 inches, not 300 yards or whatever, So whatever the scale is, and I'll have to figure this out, but I think it's 4-to-1 or something like that. If you can probably hear that motorcycle. If the I've struggled with this. The ground scale is much smaller than the figure scale. Okay, it's just the way it is in multi-figure games. 24 figures represents 600 dudes. So, and that space that they're taking up on the table represents many meters. Maybe 150 meters or something like that is represented by a 5-inch unit. So when you got a building, when you're done constructing it, that is this big, and it's truly this big. I think it's even bigger than this. That is way too much space on the table. If it's 2 feet wide, right, which I think it's close to that, that's the majority of the table. Yes, it would look awesome. It would be very impressive to look at that. But your models, that would be perfect if the game was a skirmish game. Like if you're playing Chosen Men or something like that, then it would be a perfect thing, because then you're moving individuals around Hougoumont, which you never would, because you would have hundreds of models on each side. So instead of a full-sized Hougoumont, this is where I said I thought about constructing a representation of Hougoumont, smaller models, with like little town sectors like I normally do, and then make like 3 of those. Now 3 of those town sectors, in my just kind of glancing over there, they look like they're only about 6 inches on a side. So 3 town sectors set up in a T would only take up like 2 feet this way, or 1 foot this way and 1 foot this way. I could even do 4, depending on how many figures I want to put into Hougoumont. So a 1 foot by 1 foot area on the table, that's perfectly fine. And then I'll just need to have some of these Hougoumont buildings, and I'll probably make them up to look like they're 28 millimeter, but probably not. They're probably going to be 20 millimeter, just to fudge it a little bit. I really need to hash this out. I think Sarissa sells a 20 millimeter, maybe it's only a 15 millimeter. Let's check. Okay, I went to 20 millimeter. That's Eastern Europe. Hold on. World War Europe? I don't know if that would be correct, but I probably could search it. Sarissa makes some good products. I really like. Well, they got a village church that looks like Papalot. maybe I do this. The buildings of Waterloo, Huguenot. Okay, so this is probably 28 millimeter. See, look how can I grow this out? How do I make it? Okay, right there. Yeah, look at that. That's Huguenot. That and okay, I could do like one town sector there, one town sector there, one here, and one there. I could do that. And then I could put like this building in this one, and these two buildings in those, and those two that one building in that one, and then put some fencing up just for, and then you could put units in each of these sectors somehow. I'll have to figure it out. But that's just too big. Now I could have swore they did an alternative scale on this. Okay. Might have been 15 millimeter. Maybe not. Oh, those are nice. I'm going back from the end now. Okay, I didn't see it in 15s. Oh, right there. No, that's La Haye Saint. But still, La Haye Saint. I could have swore they did a Huguenot in 20 millimeter. Okay, I don't see Huguenot in 20 millimeter. Old Europe. Yeah, because there's La Haye Saint, Papilot Farm, okay, which is not the Plansnois, okay. And then this is the buildings of Waterloo. You can get all of them. Or you could just get Huguenot 28 mil. It's in the upper left. Well, all these should be 28 because that's the page I'm on. Well, darn. I still think it would be in there. Show more, right? Okay. I got La Haye Saint in 20 millimeter. I thought they did all of them. La Belle Alliance, that's also a Waterloo building. And then nothing, so I'm gonna have to scratch build it. Okay, I can do that. I can scratch build it. It's more fun anyway, right? Okay, and the reason why I was thinking 20 millimeter was the same thing about the 2/3 scale. If you consider 28 millimeter 30 millimeter, then 20 is 2/3 scale. And that's what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Get a 20 millimeter Hougoumont built. It won't be too much different because I use 28 millimeter with 1/72 scale figures, and 1/72 scale figures are supposed to be 1 inch tall, represents a 6-foot man. These guys, inch wise, you're looking at 1 1.25 inches. So you're really not losing that much for a 20 millimeter. Plus, it's a and it's large enough that it's gonna look nice. 1/72 is what I meant. What scale are those buildings? Okay, those are in the millimeters. The ones I was just looking at, Sarissa, those are 28 millimeter, which is 1/56. And then the 20 millimeter ones that I was looking at are 1/72 or 1/76 actually. But yeah, it's okay. So when I go to do the Hougoumont thing, I think I'm going to make my own Hougoumont. It's going to be 20 millimeter. I'm probably going to have to, I don't know if you guys know this, but I actually had visited Hougoumont in real life. I had actually been to Waterloo. We drove through Quatre Bras, but Quatre Bras is completely changed, so there was nothing really there at Quatre Bras. But when we got to Waterloo, there's a little museum set off in the side. We're about some paintings. There's this big mound, which I think is where they buried the Prince of Orange, and we actually went to Hougoumont and walked the perimeter and walked around inside the garden, and yeah, so I've been there. My wife took some pictures of me standing by the one of the buildings up front near the gatehouse, and I guess it was the wall by the gatehouse, and there were these bullet holes, musket shot or something, and I was pointing at them, like, standing there like pointing at these things as she was taking pictures. And at the time I didn't really realize this was in the 90s. I was there, 92-ish, something like that. 92. Wasn't 93 because I had already made it back to the States by then. It was either 91 or 92, but I believe it was 92. Might have been 91. I don't remember, but at the time I didn't realize that work had been done to repair a lot of the damage that was done to the building. Some of the walls had collapsed or whatever, and they rebuilt them. So the walls that I was looking at might or might not have been the original walls. you could tell on some of the walls where the bricks were like new, and then you could tell where some of these bricks were up there for hundreds of years. So I was like, these are probably the real bullet holes from Waterloo. Okay. Okay, so part of this battle, I wanted to go over this battle real quick. Part of it says that let's go to the units. Here we go. Next page, order of battle. They take the artillery out of the game. And this is also another thing. If this is supposed to be a 6x8 table, right? If that's supposed to be a 6x8 table, then these squares are they need to be larger to represent. They need to be 1.5 feet. So these are 1.5 feet squares, not 1 foot squares or not 2 foot squares. So at 1 foot, 4 squares would be 6 feet. Okay, and 6 squares, what would that be? 9 feet. So 6 by 9. So they're already going against their description up front where it said they played on a 6x8. Another discrepancy. Okay, but if this is a 6x9, then those squares are 1.5 feet. If that is the case, this Huguenot on the map, whoop, there, I don't know if you can see it. See that little building right there? It's tiny. It's 1/3, 1/4. Yeah, it's about 1/4 of a square. Okay, so if that building is 1/4 of a square, which I think is good because what they're doing is they're giving you an accurate representation of Huguenot. What's 1/4 of 18, right? We got it's less. It's like 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches. Okay, and they give you the objectives in lore. They don't actually define the objectives, other than the fact that it says the game lasts for 12 turns, and the French win the game outright if they hold Huguenot buildings, plural, for 2 consecutive turns. Okay, now they break the victory points up. The Huguenot is worth 6. The wood is worth 1. The orchard is worth 2. Okay, so I'm not really sure how to understand this. Are they saying that the chateau is 1 town sector? And the units they're showing is the Defenders of Hougoumont. It says 1 tiny Nassau Grenadier in the buildings, 5 tiny in the garden and the orchard, another tiny Nassau in the wood, 2 tiny Hanoverians in the wood, 2 tiny British in the kitchen or kitchen garden, and 6 off-table artillery. Okay. And then, okay, and remember this is a 12-turn battle. And reinforcements start showing up on turn 2 for the Allies, but they don't move in from the edge of the board. Something's messed up here. They just teleport in. Because on turn 2 it says a small British Guards light company just shows up in the Great Orchard. And then on turn 3, 2 small British Guard units show up in the kitchen garden. That's not the way we're doing it. I don't mind having them set up one move away from those locations and come in on turn 2, and that way they can move up to those locations. But I don't want to have them just magically appear in those areas. That doesn't make sense to me. Unless they're there and they're hiding, and then they don't become active or until now. I could put the figures out and say they're not active until turn 2. That I could do. They're not active until turn 3, or they're not active till 4 or 5 or 6, and that doesn't make sense either, because if the French attack the garden and get there before turn 6, that British Guard unit can't be there. So I just can't appear magically in the middle of them. This battle is messed up. I'll have to look at it and see how historically the British moved their units up, and I think they did. I think they were like right behind the chateau off map, and they just gradually moved down and just constant stream of reinforcements into the building from the back. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then it shows Colonel Hackett, which is a brigadier general. He comes in with 2 battalions, a KGL and a Landwehr. Okay, that's fine. But that's on turn 10. How much activity is that unit going to get? None. And then also from the other corner, you got Ulferman, which is the Brunswick. It's a New Brunswick general, because I think the Duke died at Quatre Bras. So Colonel Ulferman, or maybe he's just one of the brigadiers, he's bringing in 3 Brunswick battalions, and the French are only playing with Jerome and Bowden's brigade. So it's just 1 brigade of French. But then on turn 3, Soy's brigade shows up. And it doesn't show from where. It just shows where Bowden's brigade comes from. Oh, wait. No, it does say. It says southern board edge. So I guess it could come from anywhere in the south. And then on turn 4, Foy shows up with Tissot's brigade. So right now we're playing with Jerome and Foy. Turn 6, Jammon's brigade shows up. Now, I'll already have all those French battalions finished for Quatre Bras, so there won't be any problem fielding them for Hougoumont. And then Olferman, got him finished. Halkett, have him finished. And then all these other small and tiny units from the Nassau and from the Hanover and from the British Guards, I'm going to have all that finished. That won't be a problem. So I don't see anything that I'm not already going to have finished. And it says several colonels in local command: McDonnell, Lord Seaton, Woodford, and Hepburn. And it doesn't say who they command. It just says several of these guys running around. So, and there's no commander-in-chief on that side. The commander-in-chief over here is Jerome. Colonel Hackett, Colonel Olferman, you would assume they come in with their units. But everybody else would be under Seaton, Woodford, Hepburn, or McDonnell. And that doesn't make sense either. Now, Wellington, countering Mufflin's concerns, said, I have put McDonnell in charge of it. So maybe McDonnell should be the commander-in-chief. It says several colonels in local command. So maybe all these colonels can command all of these defenders. I don't know if I like that. Well, they're all staff rating 8, so it doesn't matter. It's like they're all you only roll once per unit anyway, right? And so he could just go for an 8 because they're all 8s. So there's no real reason to have, organization. Now, Halkett and Olferman are 7s, and that's why they're separated. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. And all the French are 7 except for Foy. He's an 8. Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. The deployment and the movement on the board on turn 10. Bowden's brigade being a very small brigade of 6 light battalions, which I think is wrong, because you can look right here. Bowden doesn't have 6 light battalions. I mean, I can pull lights off of somebody else. Soy is part of Jerome. Hold on, what? Okay, so Jerome. Okay, then who is jamming? Oh, right there. Okay. 3 light, 2 standard, 1 small. Okay, so I could. That is true. The 1 small. There's only 200 there. He's the guy that I fed into those guys. We spoke about that earlier. Okay, but part of my not the way they have it set up, is that the defenders have 6 off-table batteries, and the French have 5 off-table batteries. Game starts at 11:30. Only a portion of the Allied forces on table at the start. On the second turn of the game, reinforcements arrive, and these are listed in the order of battle. Okay. says they're also identified on the Huguenot map. Guess what? They're not. Okay. As stated, the buildings of Huguenot are counted as one building block for the purpose of the game. Okay, there we go. Just got to read a little bit. They can hold up to one small infantry unit. They can hold up to one small infantry unit. All other building rules in Black Powder exist. Okay, the main wall was fortifiable. Not only does it follow the rules set in the main rulebook for obstacles, it also gives the unit a +2 morale. Okay. Okay, Allied command and control up until turn 10. All units in Huguenot or appearing sent into Huguenot are commanded by a number of local commanders. This represented by a notional command model. Okay. So you just put one command model out there, but he represents all these colonels getting together. Okay. 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 So it's 1, not 4. See, the way they're wording this is messed up. Okay, each side has access to several batteries of off-table artillery. You fire as if they're at long range. So they get 1 die, right? Instead of the 2 for medium and 3 for point blank. So and no more than 2 batteries can target the same unit. But it doesn't, you just pick a unit and roll. So it doesn't say you measure from the edge of the table or anything like that. They're all just firing long range. Indirect fire. I don't have to shoot. I don't have to make gaps between my units for artillery to shoot. I guess they are technically up on hills behind Huguenot, so I guess they can shoot over. And okay, now roll a die for 4 and the 6 British batteries per turn. Wait, roll a die for 4 of the 6 British batteries per turn. 1 die per gun. On a 4 or more, they can add their firepower to the battle. The remaining 2 always fire. So the British get between 2 and 6 batteries per turn that can fire on French units as if they were at long range. They cannot target French units within any part of the estate. That said, 1 battery can fire at French infantry in the wood each turn. Okay. That's an interesting way to fight the battle. I'm probably going to set up for that. But according to my research, there were full units of British. I'm talking about 600 men plus 3,000 men in Huguenot. Okay, maybe not 3,000. I don't know. I'll have to do a little research on that. But yeah, they're saying it's 1 town sector and it's only 6 inches. So, okay, so building a full-scale Huguenot model is not even an option. Okay, so we're definitely not going to be able to do it. And I don't want to build a little bitty Huguenot model that maybe a 15 millimeter Huguenot model to represent Huguenot, because the figures will be towering over the buildings. And I personally believe that you could get more units in the actual buildings. I'm going to have to do a little research to see exactly how many units, how many men actually occupied the buildings in the chateau. And if it's 600, then I'm going to allow a full-size unit in there. If it's 1,000, I'm going to allow 2. Make 2 town sectors. So basically, for every 600 approximately, I'm going to make a town sector. So if there was 2,400, that's going to be 4 town sectors. If there's 2,000, it's probably going to be 4 town sectors. But my town sectors are normally 6 inches, and that would be a big area. So what I might consider doing, there we go, is including the garden, what do they call that? The kitchen gardens, and including as one, like the kitchen garden and the stable as one building, and then maybe the whatever that building is in the back, and the formal gardens, maybe making all of that a town sector, and then maybe the chateau being its own town sector in the middle, and then the gatehouse wall, well, it's a wall, so maybe just put a wall there. Maybe the gatehouse, its own town sector. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. All right, guys. So we didn't get to paint any of these guys. I haven't primed them yet anyway, so I need to go out and prime those, and then I'll start painting those this afternoon and get them finished. Now those are going up on the store. All right, guys. So over the next few days, I'm going to be adding what I plan to do in the Huguenot site here. I'm going to do what I'm planning on doing in the center, and then what I'm planning on doing over at Papillote, Plans Noir, over on the far right with the Prussians. So I guess it's not Papillote, I guess it's Plans Noir. Let's do it this way. There we go. Make it easy on me. And so I'm going to set those up and see what overlaps, because I'm going to have to proxy a lot of this. Whatever overlaps, then I'll color code those like I do these. Huguenot looks like I've already got it finished. Yeah, Huguenot's not going to be any problem. But I want to play Huguenot on a larger battle. I don't want it to be just Jerome and Foy, right? I want there to be pyre, cavalry. I want the artillery on the table. But I understand they're fledging it, right? Like I said earlier. Okay, so I know there's like a line of infantry in the back. Give me a second. I know I've got a map. Yeah, this is the one I like using. Okay, so see, we got, well, can you see you can't really see my mouse pointer because it's a little dot. So what I'll do is I'll draw on the table. Pencil, here we go. So here's Jerome, right? And there's Foy. And they're saying that these are the only two units that are engaged in this battle. And the rest basically just sat out and didn't do anything, which is kind of true if we're focusing on the Hougoumont area. But Bachelou did attack up in this direction, right? And Foy, oh, I'm sorry, not Foy, Pyre with his cavalry kind of screened around over here. And I want to bring like Chase into the battle so that he can play against Pyre, right? And I'm losing my pointer. And this is Ulferman, right? And the way the table is set up in the scenario, it's like this, right? That's the table they've got set up. I'm going to adjust the table a little bit differently because remember, I'm not doing, I'm going to do 8 inches is 12 inches. So I'm going to be able to blow this table up to maybe something like this. And if I do that, then I want to have these units up on a hill, right? Now, Bing and Maitland are the guard units that move down into Hougoumont. That's fine. And then they're showing that these Brunswickers, according to the scenario, took a long journey around this way to come in this way. And that's why they don't get there until turn 10. Well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to allow them to come in straight away, maybe earlier. And then I think this is the unit. No, there's Halkett right here. Okay. So Halkett comes in immediately, but he's not going to. I'm going to have him set up on the ridge and let him deal with Bachelou. And then, yeah, allow Foy and, yeah, Jerome on the table. Foy comes in a turn or two after, or maybe set both of these on the table. And then kind of not deal with some of these other units that are out here, like Adams or Somerset, because I don't think they actually got involved until the guard went in. Okay, and I wanted to turn the table, get it? So I was wanting to actually turn the table so that it was more like this. That way I could get all 3 units on the table at the same time, maybe even like this, and not include La Haye Saint, because I want to, with this being the first corps, right? I was wanting to do this battle as my center, and then this battle as my plans noirs. So those are the tables, right? We got the Huguenot battle, we got the La Haye Saint Papillote battle, and then because I'll leave La Haye Saint there and let Donzelot historically attack La Haye Saint, and then Alex can attack Biolant, and Markinal can attack Best, and Derut can try to take the Papillote La Haye. Now, this battle, I'll already have Kemp, Pack, Venki, and Biolant. And these guys, I'm probably not going to leave. I'm not going to split this brigade to this table. I'm going to allow this brigade to fight on this table. And I'm not going to even include any of the cavalry, maybe a little bit here and there, because the cavalry really didn't get involved until, well, they did a charge on the guns, so maybe I do need to do Ponsonby. Yeah, maybe I need to do these cavalry units right there. Maybe Somerset too. Yeah, so these cavalry right here I'm probably going to include in the center battle. The center battle is going to be more of a traditional battle. It's going to be one corps against a couple of divisions of infantry, with a unit out there in some town sectors that is going to get crushed immediately, and then some defenders here, and then maybe some 95th rifles in a sand pit right about there. Yeah, so these are the battles that I'm doing, and I think I can field, like, that looks like a lot of battalions, so that's why I need to do the center battle display, so I can see, because when I do these three different battles, I'm going to take like Jerome, Foy, and Bachelou's infantry and put them in Donzelot, Alex, and Marconet's, and Derut. Yeah, they've got more units. I'm going to have to do a lot more French, it looks like. Now, I have to figure out which of these actually fight the Prussians, and whatever unit that's going to be fighting the Prussians, I'm not going to include them as an option for these tables. Now, Kellerman, the Dragoons, and the Cuirassiers, I'm going to include in this battle. Pyre, of course, right? Now, LeBeau, I think, was played over there. The Guard plays over here. I think Malad screened over here, I think. And this would be the Lancers, right? They, I know, I don't know about these guys, but I know that the Lancers counterattacked against the British cavalry charges, so I'm probably going to include them in the center map, because they counterattacked, and I think they killed Ponsonby. I don't know about these guys. Are these Guard subservient, or are those couple? You know, I can find out super quick. That's Gerard. Is that the one we're looking at? No, Subservient Dumont. That sounds like guards to me. Because I don't have a whole lot of guard for the French put together or, you know, organized. Okay, I didn't see it. Here we go. Control F. Sub, put another S on there. Okay. There we go. 5th Cavalry Division. Okay. So one of those is a cavalry division. Domont. Okay, so some of these words, oh, here's Dumont. There is no Domont. Demond? Oh, hold on. I'm all over the place, sorry. Domont. Subservi and Domont. Well, they look like cavalry. And one is the... I already lost it. The 5th Cavalry Division. Do I see Domont? First Cavalry Corps. That's what I would assume it would be. It would be the 1st Cavalry Corps. Because you got 4th Division and 5th Division. But maybe there's another cavalry corps there as well. I don't know. Okay, so that's just part of the struggle. Yeah, we'll close that. And so that's basically letting you know how I'm planning on doing it. So over the next couple of days, I'm going to try to organize the 3 tables here. The Hugomont. This table is not even in the Albion Triumphant. They only show Quatre Bras, Hugomont, and Plans Noir. And so, but I'm going to use those as kind of guidelines on how to do this. This looks like there's going to be a lot of city sectors in here, a bunch. I might have to shift the map a little bit to might have to do a lengthwise map instead of a widthwise. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Okay, guys. Well, it's been good today. I went ahead and went over about 30 minutes because I started late. So you still got your full 2 hours. And I'll see you next week. And next week I'll update you on, well, if I still have these American paratroopers on my shelf, I'll show you how they look. Plus, again, I'm going to be starting more French because I'm falling behind on my French, and I've got over 1,800 figures. That's another thing. I've been counting figures, and you tell me how you do it. You can put this in the comments or whatever. But I count, when I'm talking about my Napoleonics for black powder, I count one infantry model as one figure. I have been counting artillery as 4 figures, but that's not fair to me because I feel like the cannon is an actual figure that I actually have to sit and paint. Paint all the details, the barrel and the chains and the metal bandings and all that stuff. So I'm going to start counting my artillery as 5 figures. And then with the generals, I have been counting each general as a figure. Where I'm going to change with cavalry, I've been counting every cavalry figure as 1 figure. So like a unit of 12 cavalry is 12 figures. I think that is also unfair to me because I have to paint the horses and the infantry, or the rider, separately. So I'm going to start counting my cavalry as 2 figures, and I'm going to start counting any mounted general, because I have some generals that are walking, but mounted generals as 2 figures. And then I'm going to give you an updated total, because right now I'm sitting at like 1,700 plus models, and I want to update that. And with the amount of cavalry, artillery, and generals that I have done, plus I haven't counted any of the limbers. I probably should count limbers as well, because I've got like 6 limbers with 4 horses each. So I'm going to count each limber and each horse, and we'll put that on my list as well. And then I'll give you an updated on a upcoming Waterloo project update. I'll give you an update on actually how many figures I've got for that. I think it's doable. Okay, my mind is all over the place. I think it's doable to have 1 corps on the table, of infantry with maybe a supporting corps of cavalry. I don't see a problem with that. And then over here, we got 1 corps of infantry with a supporting corps of cavalry. Or 2 with Lefebvre. And then over here, we got the Guard and LeBeau, a couple of corps. Actually, LeBeau and the Guard Corps seem to be fairly small. And then with their cavalry. So I feel that these 3 battles will make Waterloo very playable. It'll take 3 game sessions to play. Maybe 6 hours a game session, something like that. Maybe not. Black Powder plays pretty fast. I had considered making it a brigade game, and then I could play the entire thing, but I don't want to do that. That's Napoleon's battles. I want to play battalion level. So we got to split, and luckily Waterloo wasn't one of those battles where like Prince Jerome flanked all the way over here and attacked La Haye Saint. No, these guys were all pretty straight. It was pretty straightforward. And then when the Prussians came in, it was pretty straightforward with their reserves. So I think it's going to be doable. All right, guys. I'm going to let you go for this afternoon, and I will see you in the next update, or I'll see you next Wednesday.